I spent the last year travelling around Oz finding cool people doing cool shit to protect the natural world. And now it's the new year, it's time for you to put your New Year's resolution to be more sustainable into action. So here's 5 little tips for you to be more sustainable this year.
Act local!
Number 1, use your bins properly. Do you honestly know how to use all of the bins in your house properly? Be honest, don't lie. It's the easiest way to be more sustainable in the new year. I sat down with the man, the myth, the legend, Waste Man Mick, and he guided me through the process.
So green bin, in Wollongong we call it FOGO, food organics, garden organics. And also sometimes you can put in oil-based cardboards, such as the top of your pizza boxes, or the bottoms of your pizza box.
Just the bottoms?
Yeah, just the bottoms. So that's because you can't no longer recycle that properly because the oil has contaminated that. So that's the green bin, so you're going to put in your yard clippings and your food if your council does that. Your yellow bin is general recycling, mixed recycling in Australia. So you got your milk bottles, you got your glass bottles, you got your cardboard, your paper, all the general recycling bits and pieces. And then your red bin is everything else. Okay. If you're confused and you are in a different council, always just check the council website, because they will have their list of what can and can't be recycled. Recyclingnearme.com, I think it's Planet Ark. They've got a big system where you do have those hard to recycle objects like your batteries, your paint tins, even x-rays, stuff like that. You type in what you have, it'll try to find out where the closest recycling pickup point for that is.
Number 2, pick up rubbish when you see it. Other than the obvious, if you want beautiful places to remain beautiful places, then pick all the rubbish up when you see it. All that rubbish that isn't picked up will eventually break up into microplastics, which may find its way into waterways, and then we end up ingesting these microplastics. It's gross. I'll let Dr. Michelle Blewett explain.
So when plastic gets made in its base form, it gets made into these round pellets that then get coloured and moulded and into the products that we use every day. And that's the thing with plastic, is that it was made to be durable. It was made to last forever, and that's exactly what it does.
How is it winding up on our beach?
Most of what we find on our shorelines comes from us from land, from urbanisation. So it comes down our stormwater network.
Yep.
Okay, and either lands on our beaches or where we are here on our lake systems. The ocean's downhill from everywhere. Most stormwater outlets don't have catchment baskets or what we call gross pollutant traps. Most of them only capture the big stuff, like the bottles, the straws, the cups, right? But it doesn't capture the small stuff.
Why does it suck to us? Why does it suck to flora fauna?
It's synthetic. It shouldn't be here. The colour of them looks very much like a fish egg. And so if you get the likes of seagulls or other bird species are consuming this. Now we don't eat seagulls, well not last time I checked. So this lake system where we are, even though it's man-made or human-made, there's a lot of fish in here that people come down and fish. They eat those fish, and so you get the fish that are possibly, most probably, consuming the plastics as well. Okay, and then we eat the fish. What's more also is that plastics, when they're in the aquatic environment, which is also filled with lots of other toxins, like runoff from fertilisers, dog poop that's been left in the system, you name it. These plastics act like magnets or sponges, and then they soak up all those other chemicals that are in our environment. And so not only is whatever's consuming this gets a dose of the plastics itself, which is made of plasticides and chemicals, it's synthetic, it also gets a dose of whatever it's soaked up as well.
Yuck.
It's been known to be found in water, with salt, lots of food products, cosmetics, been found in beer. They consider that we are consuming a credit card size worth of microplastic every single week. That's 5 to 8 grams of microplastics every single week. So if you think of that laid up on top of each other, it's kind of crazy.
It's disgusting is what it is.
Number 3, don't throw out your old adventure gear because it's still usable. Turn it into something new, like Evan from Terra Rosa Gear.
An old jacket or old ski pants or something like that. And the material is great, but there might be something, you've blown out the knee beyond repair and it's no longer gonna function great as a ski pant, but the rest of the material is fine. You can take those and build something smaller or put it together that creates something larger. You know, how can I capture the essence of what this jacket was and the adventures that it has had, and then put it into a new bit of gear. There's some hats kicking around here too. There's one. So again, old jacket. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Original. So that, again, original zip brings back so many memories for me, because I had a couple XCR jackets that, like, you know, how many times did you nearly die in those?
Nearly die in those.
What did he say?
So yeah, I try to not cut up things that are still good and still have a life in what they are. But once a jacket's totally haggard, then boom, now it can become some hats. It can become, God, what else? Some bags of some sort. The pockets, the zips, those are all good. Take those, put those onto other things. And that's not a hard thing to do, yeah.
Number 4, join a local community group. You don't have to be the trailblazer that sets up a new organisation that saves the world and makes it a more sustainable place for many more years to come. You can join a crew that's already established, well into their journey, and contribute to their successes. Just like any startup, they need passionate individuals to help push their purpose forward. That could be you. Where can you find these community groups? You don't have to look much further than the hobbies you already partake in now. I've sat down with surfing groups, trail running groups, fun crews diving headfirst into land care. So if you already like being outside, find a group helping the natural world centered around the things you already like to do whilst you're outside, and you'll have a way more enjoyable and seamless experience than if you were to force yourself to try something completely new in the space. Number 5, ride whenever you can. I'll explain this one with a mathematical equation. More bike equals less car, which equals less emissions and more healthy. I went riding with the guys from Unlybug, or Unli Bicycle User Group, and they explained why choosing riding your bike over taking your car can not only be better for the environment, but also better for you.
Your commute can really turn into like a little micro adventure. As much as we'd all love to be out on amazing adventures all the time and hiking in the Flinders or whatever,
Yeah.
it's kind of difficult as we're all quite busy, close to home little adventures, which are achievable on a bike, and just really transforms the way we move around. And I think cars kind of really isolate you from that.
Yeah, sure.
Whether consciously or not, just started to develop this like understanding of how better connection, like improved connection I have with where I live. Also just that sort of incidental exercise, so to speak. Like it's not, it doesn't have to be some punishing activity, but that 5K commute to work or to the pub or whatever, it's like, gets the heart rate up a little bit, get to see some cool places. So it's efficient, but it's also slow enough that you really take in a lot more than what you would if you're in a car.
These are some pretty straightforward tips that don't uproot your current lifestyle in order for you to be a sustainability warrior. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've taken from these chats. Have a look at your day-to-day and find some little changes that you can make in order to be a little bit more gentler to the world that we live in. If you've got any questions or some nuggets of wisdom of your own, drop them in the comments below. See ya.